welcome to Epiphanies. I'm Rev.Jessie Brandon, and I'm a metaphysical minister and a life cycle celebrant. And this is the perfect joy for me where we talk about people in books. And with me today, I have Farah Miltimore, and we are talking about Jack Canfield's Key to Living the Law of Attraction. Now, this is so cool because there's a lot more coming out about the Law of Attraction. And this book is a simple how-to guide for using the Law of Attraction to create the life you desire. Within these pages, Canfield clearly explains not only what you need to know, but what you need to do in order to attract what you want in your life. And that is perfect. Thank you. Yeah. So, Farah is a motivational speaker, personal branding and social media coach, and co-creator of Talk 11. She has a love for bringing joy into people's lives. She has a passion for helping you see your superpowers and owning them in all parts of your life. She's built multiple successful businesses and has left her mark in many industries as a person that uplifts and empowers those she works with. She's bringing a brand new approach to coaching for all businesses and life. When we put joy back into the equation, we build our lives effortlessly. Oh, I love that.
Oh,
That's
thank
really
you
cool.
so much.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So tell me, Farah, why did you choose this book?
So I chose this book because I have been on a journey of personal growth for the last, I'd say, 3 years. So first was watching The Secret, and I kind of started to understand the law of attraction, but I didn't really fully understand it. So this book came along and I was able to dive in and to start actually understanding the practice of the law of attraction, and that there's so much more than just that of the law of attraction, and there's the law of vibrations and all this other stuff that this book brought into light for me, and the steps into manifesting the things that I want in my life.
Very cool. I know everyone thinks, or people who hear law of attraction, they think all they have to do is say, oh, well, I want $1 million.
Exactly.
And then when it doesn't come, they say, oh, well, that stuff doesn't work. So tell me what the real trick is.
For me, the real trick is putting pen to paper. And if you're not a pen to paper type of person, I decided that it was seeing the thing, whatever the thing was that I wanted. And the key for me was actually feeling that emotion and actually feeling the feelings of already having what it is that I want to manifest. So if it's a successful business, then it's saying to myself and seeing it and visualizing the fact that it's already there and it's already a success and it's already being built behind the scenes. Right? I call the universe usually in my manifesting practice the behind the scenes, the work that's being done without me actually having to put into strategy and put into work, but just knowing and believing and then surrendering and allowing those things to happen.
Right, that's so cool. So is there something in the book that specifically spoke to you, or were there many pieces that...
There were many pieces that spoke to me, but something that was specific was the feeling.
Right.
Because I didn't know that that was even a thing. I didn't know that my vibration was the feelings I had, my conscious, the thoughts that I was having, those kinds of things. And when I started to understand that and really dig into it, it actually transformed so many things in my life, between businesses and relationships and my body and my mind. So knowing that I have to feel the things that I want to feel in the long run, in the short term, is really what spoke to me in the book.
Okay, can you break that down just a little bit more for me? What does it mean to feel the feelings?
So to feel the feelings, so I try to think of examples to put it into place. So let's say you want to lose 10 pounds or whatever it is. And you've tried so hard, yet every time you're on a diet or you're doing a new workout or whatever it is, on the inside you still feel defeated, or you still feel like you can't get to it, or that, I've tried this before, I'm not going to be able to do it this time. When we switch that, when we flip the script on it and turn it into, the feeling of gratitude for your body and what it's doing for you, the feeling of joy into, oh my gosh, I've accomplished this, or I'm working on it and I'm going to have it. Those are the feelings that I mean, and flipping the script on the thoughts that are going through your mind, and putting that clutter and the noise down and telling it to be quiet and switching it into a, oh my gosh, I've done this, or I'm getting to it, or I'm going to have it, or thank you so much for my body for supporting me into getting to that spot that I want to be at.
So is this what they mean when they say fake it till you make it? Because that is such a cliche, and yet there's so much more behind that statement. So
yeah, I feel like the fake it till you make it is great to simplify it and to bring it down. So yeah, it is. I feel like it is a part of it, but also putting the action behind it. A lot of people believe that, you know, you can fake it till you make it, but if there's no action, it doesn't have to be giant action, little baby steps towards whatever the goal is or the thing that you want to manifest. I really feel like when you put that into place with the fake it till you make it, then that's when you actually do make it and those things start to come to life.
absolutely. I think in this social media world, we've gotten so caught up in the quick phrases and the taglines and everything that people don't understand. We're not saying you just magically think that you're going to get that $1 million or that, you know, that business or lose that weight. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen because you want it. And in fact, what I've heard and what I believe is that the universe hears you saying, I want, and it says, okay, so you're in a state of wanting, great, you're there. Yep. So what you need to do is literally say, I will look so good when I've lost this weight, and my body is working so well for me, and comments like that. Yeah. And what about the trick of buying yourself a dress a size too small? I have a few of those in my closet.
I think we all do.
Do things like that work? Isn't it sort of like building new neural pathways in your brain of thinking?
It is. It completely is. It's about building those new pathways for your brain to go, okay, this is where I am. I'm so happy to be where I am because I'm being and I'm alive. I always say to people, you know, your soul could have been, you could have been a fly, you could have been a squirrel, you could have been anything. But, you know, your soul decided to live this human experience. So be grateful for the fact that you are here and living in that experience, and that all these other things that come to life are the things that we want. When we're in a state of gratitude for what we already have, those become so much easier, because then the universe responds with, oh my gosh, you know, she's already happy where she is. Why don't we give her more to be happy about? Why don't we, you know, expand that joy in their life by living these things out? You know, the dreams that we see, the visions that we have, the feelings that we have. So I really think that that is where, that's where the magic lies.
Yeah. It's funny, I've been wanting to make this point about why I call the show Epiphanies, is because I've said for years, anybody can have an epiphany at any moment, and I want to be there to witness and help. And so it was just natural for me to call the show Epiphanies. And I think that that's kind of what this helps you have, is that moment of realizing and understanding that it isn't just saying you want something or you wish you could have. It's about putting in the action, doing the physical things that are required, but also doing the mental, heart, spirit work that says, you know, you've really got to be positive and believe not only that you deserve this, but that you already have it. Is that a fair?
It is a fair description. So there are steps in here that I truly believe are essential, like putting pen to paper. And you know, that's
Can you find them?
Yeah, of course. Okay, I think I have one marked here. So there's actually a section here. Which is beautiful. It says, start by making a list of all the things you can remember in your life that have made you feel the most truly alive and joyful. So that's bringing in the piece of, what is it that you already have, or what is it that you've already accomplished? Because we so quickly forget the things we've already accomplished when we're seeking the new things that we want. So this kind of brings it back to, you've already accomplished so much, you've already done incredible things. So it's providing you with that as well. And then things like, what are my natural gifts? What are my skills and talents? What do I love to do? What makes me feel most alive? And I feel like that was something that really what am I passionate about? That started sparking new ideas for me, giving me those aha moments, those epiphanies of maybe this is where I should go. Maybe this is where I would actually like to be, in my life, in my career, and my relationships. And what direction do I want to take those? And then also it has the where did it go? Right here. It has a list of your 101 goals. What are the things that you want to see come to life? Big, small, little. I always like to look at goals. Some people have grandiose goals of, I want to make $1 million. That's great, but if you take that giant $1 million and cut it down into little pieces, it becomes more tangible. It becomes more feasible. You accomplish that goal, and then you go, well, yeah, I did it, and you get that shot of dopamine in your body, and then you move on to the next one. So it this really helped breaking it down and putting the pen to paper in a spot where I didn't really know what I wanted to write or how to manifest or what things I wanted to work on, but this really helped clear that for me.
Now, I know that I don't have a really good ability to see myself. I usually need somebody else to say, oh, you did, whatever. And then I go, oh yeah, I did. So would you recommend working through this book with a buddy, an accountability partner, or is it something you really need to do alone?
I think it depends on the person. I think if you're the type of person that kind of needs that extra push of accountability or that little extra push of, but you've done so much, you have all these great talents, because a lot of us don't see that in ourselves. So to have someone do that with you would be a lot of fun. I have certain friends that I go to along the way that, on those days where I'm not feeling like I'm aligned or I'm not feeling like I'm on the path that I want to be on, I can go to those people and go, you know what, I'm a little off. And then they help reset. So doing this with someone, I think would be very beneficial. I did it on my own because I was in a spot where I really needed to be with myself, and I needed to see myself, and I needed to understand myself. So I went through it and I did it on my own, but I think it would be a lot of fun to do with a friend.
I think so too, because I know that I think I'm at least one generation separated from you, and so in my generation it was, don't think too much of yourself, and who do you think you are, and those kind of things, because my parents were very, don't show off to the neighbors or anything. And so it's very difficult for me to look at things and see what I can do. One of my favorite stories is I was telling a friend about this house that I designed, and then I helped build it with the contractor, and then I decorated the inside of it and picked out all the furniture and everything. And I was talking to this friend, I said, oh, I'm not very creative. And they said, pardon? Didn't you just say that you designed a house and then help build it, et cetera, et cetera? I said, oh yeah, I guess that is a form of creativity. And I was recently working on a project, and I kind of fumbled it up, and I thought, well, okay, my creativity is not in the arts, but I think it's in how I make people feel and what I do to bring them out of themselves. So,
of course,
what would you say your strength is?
I feel like one of my strengths is listening. I like to create a space for people where they can just be in a non-judgmental, I'm not going to put my 2 cents in. If you need to talk, just talk. And then if you ask for my 2 cents, I will gladly give them. But if you just need an ear for someone to listen, I'm always willing and open to listen. And I also find that my strength comes from my vulnerability. I'm very open about where I've been, what I've done, how I feel, the good times, the bad times, because we spoke briefly about social media, but it's a consistent highlight reel of everyone's life. So a lot of people then sit in the shadows and go, well, my life isn't as good as everyone else's because of this, that, and the other thing. They're going on vacations, they're doing all these things, whereas I feel like there's true power and true strength in sharing those moments with people, sharing the moments of darkness that I may have had. So that, because I truly believe that there's beauty in that darkness, because without it, we don't come out into the light.
That's right.
So I like to share those things. I like to be very open. So I find that to be one of my strengths and something that really pulls people in.
Is that something that you discovered through doing this process in the book, or is that something you've come to know or always known?
I think it's been something, it's something that I came to know about 4 years ago, that really opening up was not only healing for me, but healing for those around me. So that's when I started opening up, but within that is when this book and all other books and my self-development and my personal journey and lessons from the universe and things that have come along that have showed me that by opening up and by telling my story and by sharing, it not only helps me, but it does help those around me. So
Yeah.
I think every step of the way has played a very important part in that.
True. Have you read any of Jack Canfield's other books?
I have.
Yeah?
Yes.
I really like him. And didn't he start with, of course, I think he had projects on the go underneath, but didn't he start with Chicken Soup for the Soul?
He did.
I loved those books. I think that they were very helpful to me in the very beginning of my journey as well.
Yeah.
And so tell me more about this particular book. Is there another piece in there
Yeah,
that
I believe so.
that
I have a
spoke to you?
couple pieces marked here. Let me just get to that. It's the power of visualization. I think was something that really spoke to me because, people tell you to meditate, they tell you to visualize, but I didn't understand it. I didn't really know since I was new into this whole world of going deeper. So it says formulate and stamp indelibly on your mind a mental picture of yourself as succeeding. Hold this picture tenaciously. Never permit it to fade. Your mind will seek to develop the picture. So it was the part of never allowing it to fade. You may waver at some point. Life may throw you a curveball at some point, but to always have that picture cemented in your mind of that vision of the thing you want to come to life, always have it there. Don't let it waver. Don't let it go. Just because circumstances may happen and things may come to light, stay on that path. If it feels right. If it feels right, right? Because there's always shifts, there's always pivots. So I feel that if that picture that is in your mind continues to be as strong and feels really good, I think sticking with that really helps.
Yeah, and I like that point that you made. There could be pivots. There could be you're working towards that choice that you've made, and you realize that you're not as as thrilled about it as you were initially. It's okay to make a different choice because I think that that's something again. My generation grew up with when you chose a career, that's where you stayed. And if I've had one career, I've had about 30. So, you've got to be able to understand when something's not working for you or, you just discover something else that lights your soul up.
Yeah, it's that old saying, when one door closes, another door opens. And it's about being okay with that door closing, about allowing it to close and know that you're supported in whatever comes next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's supporting you?
Oh, so many. My husband supports me in all my crazy endeavors. I have a wonderful group of friends that are always supportive on my ups and my downs, my family, and myself. I continue to support myself, which is huge in every step of the way.
Yeah, so how did you get to the place where you, A, knew you had to support yourself, and B, actually began to do it?
It took a lot of work. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of not searching, more listening to my heart, listening to my emotions and to the way I felt when I was doing certain things. So I was in a business that at a certain point just didn't make me feel good anymore. And it was about sitting with myself and listening and trying to understand why I felt that way, what was making me feel that way about that certain business, and where I could step into something next. So it took a lot of sitting with myself. It took a lot of conversations with friends. It took a lot of releasing any shame I had felt, having conversations, and really stepping into my own power and understanding that.
Yeah, and that it's okay, and it's exactly what you're supposed to be doing, is discovering your own power. Now, I want to jump back to something you said about when you're feeling off and you reach out to people. How easy is that for you?
It used to not be very easy. I used to bottle it all and then just one day blow up on those that didn't really needed to be blown up on. So it'd be my family or my friends or my husband or my children. So it was really hard for me at first because I'm a very emotional person. So growing up, I would cry a lot because it was just in my nature to cry.
Yeah.
But I was always told to stop crying. You cry too much, you know. So I ended up taking that in, and my subconscious recorded that. So I didn't cry as much, or I would cry alone, till one day I had a friend say to me, you know, you don't have to hold all of that to yourself. And I went, oh, I guess I don't.
Yeah.
So now it's become a lot easier because of finding those people that you can go to, that also create that space and hold that space for you of not being judgmental of whatever it is you have to say, and going to them and really opening up and sharing, because we can't take it all on ourselves.
No.
We really can't. So to have those few ears that are willing to listen and to help you kind of reset and to remind you that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Everything usually works out in the end. It was hard for me to begin doing that, but now it comes with great ease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are you now in the whole picture? Like your career, what are you doing?
I am a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I am. I don't believe that one way is the right way. There's lots of things that I love doing. Like you said, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a business coach. I'm a mind-to-body transformation coach. I am a co-creator of a live speaking series. So I do all these things because it's what lights my soul on fire. It's what I wake up to do every day, and I love doing all the different things, and I feel like they all at the end of the day serve the same purpose. I help people find the joy in their lives, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Thank you.
So you said mind to body transformational coach. What is that?
So I yo-yoed in weight my entire life, from the age of 6 to the age of 31. I was up and down. I had weight loss surgery at the age of 18, and I had lost a lot of weight, but then I gained it back. And one day I sat down and I said, you know, if I can transform businesses and if I can do all this with the power of my mind, why can't I transform my body with the power of my mind? And that's what I ended up doing. So what I do as well is I teach people to have the gratitude and the grace for themselves, and then take the small action steps towards the way into getting into that ideal body that they've always wanted to be in. So it's quieting down the noise in the mind that tells you that you're not good enough, that you're always going to resort back to, you know, who you are. It's about making small little lifestyle changes to aid in that support to get people to where they want to be. So in 2018, I decided that I always set a resolution, but resolutions weren't my thing anymore. So I picked a word, and the word was joy. So if it didn't bring joy in my life, I wasn't going to do it. So even with foods that I ate, if I ate something and it made me feel, and I started beating myself up over it mentally, I knew that that probably wasn't a food that I should be eating. It wasn't supporting my body, and it wasn't supporting my mind. So I would cut it out.
That is really cool.
So instead of restricting the way I ate and being very strict, it was, if it doesn't feel good, if it's not bringing me joy, then I'm probably just not going to eat it. And if I ate the burger, then I would feel good about it, instead of telling myself, you know, how dare you do that? You've worked so hard. It was, you ate the burger, enjoy it. Tomorrow is a new day. Step up and refresh. So I really think that when we nurture the mind, we also nurture the body, and then everything else kind of flows from there.
That's really cool, because I have another friend who I noticed that she was losing weight, and I said, how are you doing it? And she said, just using my mind and talking to spirit a lot, which is actually what I thought you were referring to when you said about support. And when you didn't say it, I was so surprised. So do you feel a spiritual connection?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do talk to spirit. They guide me, they help me. And I never knew what that voice was. People, oh, just talk to your spirit guides. Where? Who? What? When?
Yeah.
And then I realized it's the voice that I already have. It's that feeling, it's that knowing, it's that, it's listening to my heart on those decisions that I need to make. And I go for walks regularly, and on my walks I'll talk out loud.
Yeah.
I talk to myself out loud. I ask for guidance, I ask for assistance, I ask for clarity, I ask for support, and usually nature will respond. I'll get a gust of wind, or I'll hear a bird chirping, or a bird will follow me as I walk along. I talk to the trees as well. I do all the things with nature to connect to my spirit guides and to connect to spirit, and I found that is the easiest way for me to get that connection.
Yeah, yeah. I know I've rediscovered a love for the Labyrinth at Sunnydale Park. I recently did a wedding there, and I've been back a couple of times because it's just so amazing. I feel as though I walk into, I'll say, a different place in myself. It brings a calmness and a clarity and just a discussion. And I mentioned before, I don't know if I've ever said it on the show, but I was raised in a really strict Baptist home. So when I left home at 17, I wasn't talking to anybody named God. I wanted nothing to do with it. And it's so amazing to me that I've come right back around, whether you call it God, Spirit, Universe, Creator, the source, the power.
Yeah.
There is something out there that has extreme benevolence for us.
Oh, 100%.
And will send us all the abundance and joy that we can possibly handle.
Yeah.
We just have to be open to it. And being open to it, I think, is about working on those mind conversations and being aware of things like the law of attraction, and not just saying that I want this, but doing the work that backs that up.
Yep.
So I thank you so much for bringing this book. I just want to have one more peek at it and see if there's anything else that I can tell the readers. And of course, I opened it to the power of visualization. Oh, there's a vision book. Oh, I like that idea. Yeah. All right. The biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams. That's Oprah Winfrey. That is so true, isn't it? I mean, it really is possible to have anything if you put the work in.
100%.
And do what needs to be done.
100%. And not lose sight of it. It may be really hard.
Yeah,
the money might not come right away. The pounds may not drop right away. The car might not be parked in your driveway the next day. But don't lose sight of it. Continue to go after it and continue to stay at the bottom for a little bit.
Oh, that's
And
super.
be okay with being there
until
that momentum rises and you kind of meet that goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here with Farah Miltimore of Barrie, and you just heard about mind to body transformation, and there's so many other things. Motivational speaker. I thank you so much for joining me on Epiphanies, and thank you for watching. I'll see you.